So, do your members buy other things?
Yes.
Do your members buy waters? Do your members buy gear? Do they buy things from you? Do your members refer people to you? Now, that wouldn't be factored into the lifetime customer value. However, also remember that you want to find out how many of your customers came from referrals in the last 12 months. Let's say it was 100. How many members did you have? 200. So the average member refers you 0.5 people. So when you take that, take the average member, your average member is actually worth about $605 more. Does that make sense? From the referral. Because you know you're getting referrals 0.5 times per every person. So you take 0.5 and multiply that by your 1210, and now you know that's 605. So your average member is worth 1210 directly from you, but indirectly, because you're getting referrals at 0.5 rate per member, you are actually also getting an additional 605 per person that you sign up. Does that make sense to you guys? Yes? These are difficult things to measure. I understand that. But it's a good idea to really understand all the numbers of your business, because what gets measured can be improved. I know that my average member refers me 0.5. How can I drive that to 0.75? Let's get that there, guys. Now that you're measuring it, you can work on it, and you can see if you're getting there. And you will, right? Anybody ever use the Fitbit thing or anything to measure their steps, whether it's a watch or anything or this, right? You use this. Do you feel like you get more done with this? Do you feel like you pay attention to the numbers and therefore you may do things differently because of it? Your dashboard in your car, I don't know about you, I'm a weird numbers guy. When I had my car and I realized for the first time ever this car allows me to show me like miles per gallon. I got a Kia Optima and it showed me like miles per gallon. Like I did everything I could to like get it to like 40. Like I would like neutral it in a long road that had a hill just to get to 40. Am I the only crazy one?
No.
No? Okay. But do you drive that way when that metric doesn't exist? Did you? How do you drive when that metric wasn't there? You just fucking drive, right? But once that metric is there, now you're like, whoa, you naturally want to improve it. We know one number we pay attention to, our revenue. We like to improve that number. We focus on that number, right? Weight. Why do we want to weigh our members? Why do we like to weigh them and measure them? Why do we like to see where they're at? Why is it good for them to see those things? It gets them going. Salespeople are generally competitive people. But if you give them no metrics, if you really give them nothing to work on, no percentages to improve, even by 1% or 2%, they're just going to go. They're just going to drive. So it's important you understand those things. So total leads, lead sources, level 1 and level 2. Level 2 really only exists for a customer referral. You also want to focus on how many of those leads get contacted. Because especially if you're running like Facebook ads or YouTube ads, you're going to have people that fill out forms and maybe you only get a hold of like 80, 85% of them. And I know it's weird, but people fill out the form and then never answer their phones. It happens. But work on that. It's a number to work on. The next one you want to go is contact rate to appointments booked. How many of these are booking appointments? Then appointment book to appointment show. This is the metric that's really all over the board. We have people that get 90 to 100% of their appointments to show, and we have customers that literally get like 20 to 30% of their appointments to show. And if I were to switch owners, their metrics would switch because it's the way they do it. Hey, so what time do you think you can come in?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock? Awesome, I'll be here. I'll see you at 3?
Okay.
Cool, I'll see you then.
Okay.
He ain't showing up. I mean, 70% won't show up. Not to say like 30% of your body will, like one leg and an arm. But like people. Okay, so, but if I were to go, so what time can you come in? 5 o'clock's good?
5 o'clock, yeah, I could probably do 5.
For sure?
Yeah, for sure I can do it.
Okay, because I'm basically going to make sure I'm there for you, and I'll have like a bottle of water ready, and I'm not going to meet with anybody else at that time. I'll be there waiting for you. Okay. So 100% committed to 5?
5? Yeah, I can do 5 for sure.
All right, see you then. Yeah. I know it sounds like a little extra step, but people show up. People will show up. So book to show, and then show to close, and show to disqualify. And don't you dare disqualify them because you felt like you couldn't close them. Disqualify is a legitimate disqualify. I can't afford it is not disqualify. Disqualify is they want to achieve a goal that your company just can't do. Or they have a job that just doesn't allow the schedule. The scheduling doesn't work. Like logistically, it can't happen. I can't afford it is not a reason to disqualify. You didn't close. Okay? One of the things I talked in that episode, this episode 34, the one that Jill watched. I say Jill. Is Jill Jillian? I heard you say Jillian. It's both? Jill Jillian. So one of the episodes that Jill Jillian watched on episode 34, I think, 34, 35, it was me talking about sales. And one of the things we go into is everybody has money. How much do you guys think, what would I have to pay to get started? $450. That's a lot. That's a lot, right? Okay. Who here thinks that $450 would be a lot of money right now, even for them to just kind of sign up for a gym? Okay, can you come on up real quick? Ryan, can you let her switch? If you raise your hand, I'll let you stay. But all right, are you Debbie?
I'm just Deb.
Just Deb? Okay, so $450 right now is a lot, right?
It is.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
How far is your commute to work? Now, by the way, this is me asking here. I would never do this in a sales pitch. This is what's called polling. I'm doing this for you guys to see something, okay? Never do this in a sales pitch. How long is your commute to work?
I work from home, so I have no commute.
You don't commute at all?
No.
Okay. How hot does it get in the summer here?
Pretty hot.
Like uncomfortable hot?
Definitely.
Do you put the AC on?
Yes.
Like always, or even at night, do you keep it on?
Keep it on all the time once it's on.
What would it be like if it wasn't on?
Very hot and uncomfortable. Sticky.
Would you deal with it, or would you put it on?
I would put it on.
What if it broke?
I'd get it fixed.
How much would that cost?
I guess I don't know that.
What do you guys think?
Probably $450. That's
Wouldn't matter.
more. It would cost more.
Would it really matter?
No, I'd get it fixed.
Why would you get it fixed?
Because I was uncomfortable and can't live that way.
Uh-huh. Okay, so you'd get it fixed. How long would you wait?
I wouldn't wait at all.
Would you be on the streets after you got it fixed?
No.
Where would you be?
I'd still be living in my house.
Why though? How would that work mathematically?
Use a credit card, probably.
Would you figure it out?
I'd figure it out.
Do we figure it out pretty well as humans?
Yeah.
Do you think fear stops more people than actual obstacles?
Yeah. And discomfort with debt.
Discomfort with debt, 100% agree, but we'd figure it out. Do you think the people that come in and let's say they haven't worked out in years, months, whatever it is, do you think that by working out, that probably translate to their work and they'd probably actually work better, be better employees or better owners or whatever they do because they're healthier people, more motivated people? Do you think you play that role in their life?
Absolutely. They have more energy for the rest of their life.
Do you think they would live a better life? Okay.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay. So what does that tell you guys? With the air conditioning thing, what does that tell you guys? There's a bug here, by the way. Just I don't want you guys to think I have a problem. Huh?
You haven't, with the value of the program, you haven't reached that.
The pain point. It's not the value, the pain point.
Yeah, the price.
We didn't touch enough. More people go away from pain than towards pleasure, especially when it comes to price. More people will go away from pain than go towards pleasure. Going to this fitness program, if we position it as it's fun and we're gonna have a great time, that's what?
Pleasure.
The conversation I had with Zoe, pain. Now, what do you think's more painful, the pain that Zoe was in or her being hot?
No doubt.
So Zoe is gonna find the way. Zoe's gonna figure it out. But we can't sell this as a fun, pleasurable thing that you can add to your life to like do something cool and it's going to help you add something very awesome to your life. You want to add this because it's going to really solve the problem that you got, but you got to get to the problem. Remember in the marketing I said find out what the pain point is? You got to find out what the pain point is. So can I sell you real quick?
Sure.
Yeah? Okay.
All right.
Would that be okay with you guys if I go through it? Okay. Keep in mind I may not sell her. I have no idea. Because she may not be in enough pain, I may not be as good as I think I am, and she's also on stage with me. So it's very different than when there's a one-on-one intimate conversation, but I'm gonna do my very best here. I want you to imagine you're the average customer, okay? And maybe it's you. Maybe you are in the situation the average customer would be in, okay? Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna sell you fitness. I'm gonna sell you loud rumor, but you're not allowed to buy it, okay? But in reality, I'm gonna sell you, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So, how's business going?
Pretty good.
What do you mean by pretty good?
Well, I wish memberships were higher, but they're growing and we're working it hard.
Cool. When you say you wish it were higher, where are they at?
Well, we're at, Krista, help me out. We have about 350 members and we'd like it to be 400. I mean, that was our goal for this year and we didn't hit it, so.
So you're 50 people off?
Yeah,
Did you think you were going to be 50 people off?
we did not.
Where'd you think you'd be?
We thought we'd be just over 400.
What got in the way?
Slow summer, fall memberships not where we thought they'd be.
So are any
Last year.
are people just not working out in the world around here?
We're not totally sure why the memberships were down, but they were down.
Okay. What do you think could have happened for the memberships to go up?
We're thinking it was marketing. We're thinking that we didn't spend enough on marketing.
What'd you spend?
Jim, what did we spend? I'm not sure I can answer that.
Make it
Off
up.
the top of my
Make it
head.
up.
We spent.
Just looking to the
probably
right.
About, well, I'm trying to think about conversations. Probably about 6% of our revenues.
Okay. For numbers' sake, can we say $500? So you spent about $500?
Okay.
For like role playing sake.
Okay.
Spent about $500?
Okay.
Okay. Where do you think you should have been?
We probably should have spent $2,000 instead of $500.
Do you think that would have hit your goal?
I'd like to think so, yeah, but we won't know unless we do it.
Okay. If you were at 400 right now, what would be the next step? What would be the next goal you'd be working on?
Maintaining that through attrition.
You can't have more than 400? That's the max?
No, we could have
So
more.
would that be a goal, or you just like 400?
We want more.
What would you like?
450, I suppose.
By when?
By the end of next year.
By the end of next year?
Yeah, by a
So,
year from now.
Okay, so a year from, so May of 2018?
Yes.
Okay. What would it be like if you were able to get there by December of this year?
We'd have to add more classes. That's what it would be like.
Is that a good problem or is that a bad problem?
That's a good problem to have.
Would you like to solve that problem?
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you think it's possible to solve that problem?
Yes.
Okay. What do you, and I know, keep in mind, I would have already asked those 3 questions earlier on. So we're now in the next phase of this pitch, right? So can I ask you an honest question? Be honest with me.
Sure.
If, let's say, I moved into your studio and I worked for free and I just was a free employee for you, and I was able to just do everything I possibly could to get you there, do you think you'd have a real good shot at getting there? Do you think you'd get there by the end of the year?
Yes.
Yes? Confident, or are you just like making me feel good?
No, I think, yeah.
Yeah?
That could happen.
Okay. And let's say you got there. Would you have said, man, I would have paid him to get there?
Yeah.
Okay, would you pay me to get you there now? Because I can get you there. But you're going to have work to do.
We're going to have work to do, and I've got partners I got to sell on spending the money, but
But would they do the work, or are they going to just hope that it closes themselves?
they'd be willing to do the work.
It's going to be a lot. You too.
Yeah. We want it to happen.
You want? Okay. So how many questions have I asked her? Huh? 1,013. But ultimately, what is she, am I telling her she needs marketing? Who said they need marketing? Who did I tell her a number that she should be at, or did she come up with a number? How much money did I tell her she should pay? Or did she come up with a number? 2,000, which by the way is more than what we charge. So I would have closed you already. But the point is, when you're selling somebody, it's important you ask them the questions and you get them to paint the picture. Too many times people stop before the picture's painted. Have you ever watched that guy Bob Ross with the crazy afro and he starts painting a picture? You ever see like in the very beginning, like he starts drawing and you're like, this is gonna look like shit. He's messed up on this one. Or like it's looking good and then he like just draws a line through it and you're like, no! It was so good. And then all of a sudden he draws and you go, oh, okay, so it's better now. So I figured it out. He drew, there was a mountain now. Okay, I get it. Nobody would buy the picture before it's fully painted. We think it's wrong. We think it's messed up. It's ugly. And in sales, a lot of times, we don't let them paint enough of a picture. And when the picture's not painted, she doesn't buy it. It's not good looking enough. The pain's not enough. So we have to figure out where she was at, where she fell short, how it feels, where they thought they were going to be. The feeling of where I thought I'd be by now and where I'm at now is one of the most devastating things to people. That's what's called a midlife crisis, by the way. Somebody is like, I thought I'd be somewhere else. I thought I'd be making more money than I was. I went through it. I wasn't making really any money at 25, and when I hit 30, I made less than when I was 25. I was making less at 30 than when I was 25, right? And it's the worst feeling. I'm like, what the hell? Because we think about that. We think about where we thought we'd be and the things we do differently. But when we don't say it, because we're so used to being optimistic and covering it up, when we don't say it, it's not a fully painted picture. And that's why when the other example we were going before, I didn't just stop there. I needed her to say it. That's why I never build rapport by answering her questions or relating to her by saying stuff about myself, because that takes away from her picture and she's looking at mine. And my picture means nothing to her. Does that make sense? So when you're sitting down with the person that you're sitting down with, it's important you get to the pain point. And if they start selling you on the pleasurable things that they want, yeah, I really just want to work out. I think it's fun. I think it's great. That's great. Why haven't you been doing it already? Oh, well, and maybe the answer to the question is, I have been. I'm looking for a change. Why are you looking for a change? And maybe the answer is, honestly, I love the workout. I just, really wanted to give this a shot. Why this? It's crazy, but most people move away from things more than they go towards things. That's just the way it is. And women generally, and this is, keep in mind, not me thinking this, there are studies on this, Jay Baer did a full study on this, women generally are more in protect mode than men. And women are usually being more safe. And with that said, usually they will move away from things more than men. Not to say the women don't like the sports cars, not saying that at all, but if the woman has kids, she generally will first want to make sure that she has a safe vehicle on the road that her kids can get into, whereas the man that may be like fifth on his list, he'll be like, she looked right at him, and he goes like this. So is that the case there? You wanted the safety, and he's like, yeah. Okay. So, but that's generally how it is. So, and you can ask questions to find out how their personality is, but generally just know that the majority of people are moving away from pain, but you got to get to that pain. If you're not getting to that pain, you're not going to win. If you're not the alpha in the conversation, you're not going to win. Am I short? 5? Okay. So.
You can have an extra hour if you want.
No. So the main thing I want to get across to you guys is sales is the thing I've probably studied more than anything once I understood that it was a skill set. And a lot of people think that sales is you either got it or you don't. There's natural gifts that people will have. I get it. LeBron James, I know basketball again, Jesus guy. LeBron James was born gifted, right? He's a freak. His height, his structure, he's born gifted. But do you think there's probably a lot of people that were born with the same stuff like LeBron James was born with, but never became anything because they didn't do the drills and they didn't go to the trainings and they didn't develop skills around their God-given gifts? Would you say that there's people like that out there? Okay. All of you guys have gifts, and considering what you do for a living, you guys are challengers. You got to be a challenger to do what you guys did and pull the trigger on this and start doing your own business. And when you guys have gifts like this, you don't just go because everyone says you're a good talker, right? Your aunt will be like, oh, you're such a good talker, you should do sales. That's great, that's awesome. That doesn't mean anything. I need to develop skills around the gift.